Guys, I've been made aware. Before I get into this video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video, guys. I've been made aware, actually, that Canelo Alvarez may face Demetrius Andrade in December. This is what a lot of subscribers have been saying. This is what a lot of, rumors that have been online. But I've also heard that Canelo Alvarez might be in line with fighting Ryder and Makabu as well. So we don't know yet what the truth is. We don't know what Canelo Alvarez is actually going to decide to do, if he is going to fight Andrade. But what I will say, if Canelo Alvarez does decide to fight Demetrius Andrade in December, wow, what a run. Canelo deserves a lot of credit, to be honest with you. It wouldn't put it past me if Canelo does decide to fight Demetrius Andrade, because I think Andrade is with DAZN. It'd be an easy fight to make. And also, a lot of Andrade fanboys seem to think that Andrade is the man to beat Canelo. So I really hope that is true. I don't really want to see the John Ryder or the Makabu fight. I think they're dead fights. I would love to see him fight Andrade if there is a 3-fight deal in December. That would be unbelievable run from Canelo Alvarez. And how much credit would you have to give that man for fighting Demetrius Andrade, who is, seen as a boogeyman? Nobody wants to seem to fight him, according to Eddie Hearn and a lot of people around him, that nobody seems to really want to come to the table. And I do agree. I do think there's a lot of guys out there avoiding Demetrius Andrade. Charlo is clearly avoiding him. Don't want a part of Demetrius Andrade. Canelo Alvarez could put that all to bed if he fights him in December. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I hope he doesn't fight like a Ryder or a Makabu. They're nothing fights. Makabu would be a fight for a cruiserweight title, so that'd be a big fight. So who knows? Makabu might sit it out. But I really hope it's Demetrius Andrade. Now, Eddie Hearn hasn't mentioned anything about Andrade, so I don't know where this information is coming from. I don't know where people are getting this from, that he might fight Andrade, because it's not come from Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I don't believe, has said this. So where are people getting that Canelo might fight Andrade? Now, Canelo has been reluctant to fight Andrade. He doesn't seem to be that interested. He doesn't think it's a fight that does anything for him. But where are people getting this information from? Is there some truth behind it? Could there be a fight between Canelo and Andrade in December? If that does happen and Canelo does fight Andrade, oh my God, he'd be fighting Bivol, Golovkin, and then Andrade. That would be... So look at his run. Callum Smith, Yildirim, Billy Joe, Caleb Plant, Bivol, Golovkin, and Andrade. Oh my God, that's a ridiculous resume. Who's doing that in the boxing? That's like 8-9 fights, top level fights. Only one guy really of a lower level. It's unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. For me, I think Canelo is showing why his resume is tip top, why he's one of the best out there. His resume is on another level. Let's be brutally honest, his resume is on another level. And if he does fight Demetrius Andrade in December, which would obviously be a massive fight, I think it'd be another pay-per-view fight, and it'll do big numbers as well, because of the fact that they've got a bit of beef. I feel like the build-up will be great. I think there'll be a lot of hype around it. So yeah, I think it would be a massive fight. But is it a fight that's gonna be made? Is it a fight that finally Canelo will decide to take? Possibly. I hope so. I hope you guys are right and Canelo does fight Demetrius Andrade, because honestly, it's a fight that I want to see badly. I want to see that fight quite a bit. I wanted to see the Charlo fight, but if the Andrade fight, I want to see the fight with Andrade equally as much as I want to see with Charlo. And let's see how good Andrade is. Let's see whether Andrade and his fans that have been saying over the years that Andrade would outbox Canelo, Andrade would be too good, too slick, and he'd outbox him. Let's see. I really hope Canelo takes that fight in December. I really hope. Because I know Canelo can do a number on Andrade. And a lot of people seem to think that Andrade will do a number on him. And that's why Canelo's been avoiding, because Andrade's style is all wrong. I beg to differ. And I really hope the fact that Canelo is signing this 3-fight deal with DAZN, I really hope that he takes the Andrade fight, not a John Ryder or a Makabu fight, because for me, those fights, I'm not that interested. But in terms of a Andrade fight, that would get me very excited. Imagine that run. May, Bivol. September, Golovkin. Andrade December. That's an all-time great run. That's an all-time great run. Who's doing it like Canelo in the game? If he does fight those three, right, that's way harder than what he did last year. Callum Smith, Yildirim, Billy Joe, and Caleb Plant. This would be even harder, because this would be every single opponent would be top draw. You've got two slick fighters in Bivol and Andrade. You've got one pressure fighter who's a monster in Golovkin. Yeah, Golovkin's kind of past his best a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Golovkin's still dangerous. You know, Golovkin is still a middleweight champion who a lot of people think could beat some of those other top guys at middleweight. So Golovkin, for me, is still dangerous. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if Canelo does fight Andrade. I really hope he does. I really hope he fights Andrade, because I think he can beat Demetrius Andrade. And it would also shut up all the critics that are saying for years that he's been ducking Andrade. So I really hope that Canelo Alvarez fights Demetrius Andrade in December. I really hope, if this is true and this has got some truth behind it, I really hope Canelo goes through with this. I really hope so. Listen, I think it makes a lot of sense as well. I do. I think it's a big fight. I think it does huge signups for DAZN. Well, in terms of they've started pay-per-view now, so it'd probably be a pay-per-view fight. But again, the Golovkin fight is going to be pay-per-view. Then they're going to do another pay-per-view, so that's going to be 3 pay-per-views. And if they get the AJ Usyk fight, that might be pay-per-view as well. So how many pay-per-views can DAZN do? Remember, they are charging a subscription after all as well. So, you know, if that subscription in America is $20, here it's £8. How many pay-per-views can they do? They do as well. I think they've got to be careful that, you know, that fans aren't having to pay out huge amounts of money, because remember, there's pay-per-views on other platforms as well. And boxing is getting kind of costly now, you know, because especially in America, because remember, it's not just DAZN that are doing pay-per-view. PBC and Showtime and Fox and all those guys are doing pay-per-view. And then there's ESPN that also do pay-per-view. So how many pay-per-views can the American boxing fan afford? Do you know what I mean? There's so many. And even here in the UK, although we're not having to pay for the American pay-per-view fights, we've got UK pay-per-view fights, you know, which there's different broadcasters. There's BT doing pay-per-view. There's Sky Sports doing pay-per-view. There's DAZN now doing pay-per-view. So we're going to have to, you know, if you're on a budget, you know, some fans can't afford it. Like me, I'll buy all the fights because I'm just a huge boxing fan and that's part of my life. But for some people, you know, they've got a budget that they've got to work towards. You know, there's not just boxing costs. There's other costs that they have to pay for. You know, if they're spending a lot of money on just boxing, you know, how are they going to live? How are they going to pay their bills, their rent, and all of that? So, yeah, so it is getting quite costly. But as a boxing fan, as a hardcore boxing fan, I am loving the competition. Even though you know, boxing is becoming a bit costly. However, I do think competition is healthy because it means that all these promoters are going to stay on their toes and they're going to look to, you know, put on the best fights possible. So I think it's a good and bad thing. It's a bad thing in the sense that, you know, you as a consumer, you may have to pay more for more fights, but also on the other hand, it's also keeping these promoters on their toes, which means that they're trying to produce the best cards possible, the best undercards, and do the best they can in order to give the fans the best value for money. So yeah, listen, I really hope Canelo Alvarez and Andrade does come off. I think it's a great fight. I think styles make fights. I think that's stylistically a good fight. I do think if Canelo beats Bivol quite comfortably, I think Andrade is going to have huge issues with Canelo because Canelo is going to become a slayer of that style, especially if he beats Bivol. I think Bivol will be a test. I think if he beats Bivol quite comfortably, I think he'll dust off Andrade as well, because I feel like Canelo is starting to become efficient at how to master that particular style, and he's becoming better and better and better. So I think Andrade probably needed to get him a couple of years ago. I think now Canelo is so on top of his game. Canelo has fought that type of style so many times that Canelo is starting to master it. And, you know, my friend Christian says that Andrade's got the power to keep him off. Let's see if Bivol's got the power to keep Canelo off. And if Andrade hasn't got the power to keep Canelo off, then he's in big trouble. And I don't believe he has. And that's why I believe Canelo will stop Andrade. And I believe Canelo stops Bivol as well. And people seem to think I'm crazy thinking Canelo will stop Bivol. People think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm crazy thinking Canelo stops Andrade. But Canelo's he's a different type of fighter. You know, I think people are underestimating how versatile and how good Canelo is. People say, oh, he's so slow of feet. We'll see when he fights someone like Demetrius Andrade. I guarantee you, Andrade is going to be the one that's going to have the slow feet. at the end of the fight. He's the one that's going to be slow on his feet, because Canelo's going to be hitting him so much to the body. He's going to be putting water in that basement, slowing him down, and eventually Andrade will become, his movement will disappear, because Canelo would have targeted and put so much water in his basement, as Teddy Atlas likes to say, that Andrade would become a static target for Canelo Alvarez. I can't wait. Listen, I really hope Canelo fights Andrade. I know a lot of people think that Canelo's been ducking Andrade because of the style, and he feels that Andrade's style is all wrong. I beg to differ, but again, I really hope that in December this fight does come off. For some reason, I don't think that if he's going to fight Bivol and Golovkin, which are going to be hard fights, is he going to go straight into a hard fight against Andrade? I'd be very doubtful, because Canelo normally has like 2 or 3 hard fights, then he'll have an easy fight, or a perceived easy fight with someone like a John Ryder or Makabu. But who knows, Canelo might go in full throttle and say, you know what, I'm going to fight Bivol, Golovkin and Andrade. You know, Canelo right now, and I like the fact that Canelo's fighting regular as well, because normally Canelo and the Golden Boy used to fight twice a year. Now we seen him last year in the space of 11 months fight 4 times. We know this year he's going to fight 3 times. You know, and that's May, September, and December. So, and that's incredible. So we're getting to see more of Canelo Alvarez. Is that because he's happy with where he's at? Is that because he knows he's in his prime, so he wants to make the most of it? You know, whatever it is, I'm really loving the fact that Canelo wants to stay active and wants to fight more. Also, he's making a lot of money. He's securing that bag. Canelo Alvarez is making so much money here. You know, he's becoming a very, very, very wealthy man. You know, and by who knows in the next 4 or 5, 6 years how much money he's going to rack up. This guy's becoming a money-making machine, and becoming a fighting machine as well, to be honest with you. So yeah, I would be very, very happy if the fight between him and Andrade comes off. I really, really would be over the moon if that fight comes off. Imagine that, Bivol in May, Golovkin in September, and Andrade in December. That would be some run, and one that we all have to give him credit for. And listen, I won't be shocked if it comes off. I wouldn't be shocked if it comes off, because Canelo Alvarez of late has been showing that he just wants to fight the best, and he wants to become one of the greatest fighters of all time. So if he does do that, it wouldn't shock me, because Canelo right now has got the bit between his teeth. He's in his prime. He feels he's the best out there. He feels he's unstoppable. As Eddie Hearn said, he feels he could beat Anthony Joshua. The guy's on another level at the minute, and he's in a great place mentally, physically. He's in the prime of his years. He's in the prime of his athletic years. So I think Canelo Alvarez is going to be a very tough man to beat by anybody. His confidence is sky high. So yeah, I think Canelo Alvarez should fight Andrade in December, and put all the critics and all the haters and all the Andrade fanboys that have been saying Canelo's been ducking and Canelo's afraid and Canelo can't beat Andrade and Canelo doesn't want to fight Andrade because he knows his style is all wrong and Andrade beats him. Put all that to bed. That's what I want Canelo to do. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.